So today is
Ribs.
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 Ribs. How high up?
I think.
Okay, we're going to do ribs. And we're going to look at from T6 to T12, yeah?
Yeah.
But really T10. And we're going to do, because you're not going to get around that. And we're going to do in flexion and extension, and we're going to do an anterior. Sound good? Cool. Where's that work experience person? Phoebe, we need you. Come here. Thank you. Like lambs to the slaughter. Yeah, so we're gonna do anterior motion. We're gonna do it in flexion and extension. And what's the benefits of doing it in this way? Come through. You're going to be on camera for me.
What, in terms of anterior?
Yeah. So what's the benefit of doing an anterior compared to a carver? So lay on your back for me. Actually, sit facing that way for me.
Less compression into the ribs.
So yeah. So what? Left leg. Oh, yes. I mean, the thing that you've got when you're doing an anterior is that you are keeping the rest of their rib cage open. Whereas if you are doing it as a PA and doing it as a carver, you're pushing against the back of the rib and you're pushing it against the bed. So you're right, there is this buckling effect that can happen. So if you have anyone with low bone density, anterior would be best. If we've got somebody who's healthy and it's not an issue of potential bone fracture, what would be the advantage of doing it this way compared to the other way? What would be the advantage of doing an anterior? What would the change be energetically? So you could be doing it internal, yeah? That sounds weird. What we mean is from an internal energetic state, not internal to the rib cage. More feminine, that's the main thing. So if we're gonna do don't forget, you can adapt this to an external or an internal positioning for them, and that will depend on whether you're doing it more with their head in certain positions or not, and then it would be immediately afterward with the change for the energetics. But we're going to, let's just say this is more of a feminine adjustment instead of a masculine adjustment. Okay, cool. So let's come round. So what we're going to do, we're going to go legs this way for me. So sitting, legs that way. Drip them around this side so we can see, shuffle down that way. Cool. So, how are we going to do this? We are going to palpate down to the contact that we need, and we're going to be on the correct side of the spine, and we're always going to be on the side closest to us. Now, the hand is going to be nice and relaxed, slight contraction into the thenar, maybe into the hypophyseal front, a little bit more of an arch. The hand is going to be actually perpendicular to the spine, with the thumb, if you can, going parallel up the spine, okay? Say if we're on here, say I'm taking a contact on like T7, my hand's going to be about there, okay? What we're going to have here then is we're going to be in a fencer stance. We're going to be rotated, so I'm facing that way. We're going to have more weight onto the back leg, so as I'm stood, I'm quite neutral to her here. I don't want to be like here, and I don't want her to be massively in front of me, but relatively neutral. Feet going into the right position, so we're aligning vectors of convergence that way. I'm just going to put more weight onto my back leg. We're then going to cross the arms over the person, and we're going to tuck their head in. And then what we're going to do from this position, nice and support. I'm not compressing her here. I'm just holding her in that position there, and we're just going to rock backwards. I'm going to do this, if you come around here, by moving my body weight from back foot up and over, and then down. So it's in this arch, up and then down. So the hand's going to go here, just a bit of support there, and then we're going backwards. Hand's going to get in contact, and then it would be in one motion there. Okay? Now, two differences depending on the level. If you look from the side, when someone's sat in this position, sorry, Phoebes, we've also got an increased curve into the thoracics, the kyphosis. With the legs straight, we're actually creating a flattening of the lumbar lordosis. Okay? Now, depending on the curve angle, depends on whether we actually need to be higher and have a wedge and a block, or if we're onto the mid to the bottom of the curve angle, you might not need the block there at all, okay? So if I'm going higher, we're going to try and get onto this convex curve, try and get on this curve. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to need the raise, so when Phoebe goes backwards, my hand comes into contact with it easier, okay? And we can just go over and I can adjust down, okay? This is more central spine. If I want to go into the rib, instead of it being next to the spine, we're coming out a little bit laterally. We're going to hold the head, we're going to go back, I'm going to rock to one side, and then I'm on the ribs, and then down there. Last few bits now. So either we can now think about whether the person needs to be in flexion or into extension, okay? And what we're trying to do there is change the curves and the angulation of the spine. So if we're going to do the curve in flexion, what we're going to do, we're going to have the knees of the person up like this. That will change the angle of the spine here. So we've taken out that rounding to more of a neutral curve here. And then the head's going to go forward, which really then changes the angles again. Then as I go backwards, keep your feet on the bench. As we go backwards, it's going to be adjusted, but the spine is in more of a flexion point. So from up here, it's going to be flexion there. If we're going to go into extension, we want the spine to be going backwards. We're going to flatten the legs. And as we support here and we go back over the support, we're then going to drop the head back and then adjust through. Okay? So we can play with it if we want them to be in more flexion or extension. We're going to do that by testing over the ribs, getting them to either lift the head up or push the forehead down. Cool? What else do we need to talk about? Come on, please. What else have we missed? We've done internal no, we haven't. We've done flexion extension. We've done mid and lower, and we've created rotation to the ribs. Questions?
When they're in extension, dropping the head back, arms staying the same.
Yeah, so we still need to keep that tension. So the arms still should be like this. So I'm going to change my low position. So if I'm here on the ribs, okay, and then go head back. There. Clunk then, wasn't it? Massive clunk. I didn't mean to do that. But you see, we're still supporting them. They'll go backwards and move. If we can move it once you get good, so practice the setup first. But then if we're good at it and we're fluid, we can go back. And then as we come over, we can drop down or we can drop the head backwards and then go. So it's more in one motion. Not saying go quick and rush it, but what we are saying is if they're moving with you, use that momentum to build up to the impulse instead of doing it like to here, to here, to here. You're going to have an issue because with a lot of people, if they are struggling to support their own body weight, but you could 100% with like behavior, straight in, sorry, put your arms up there, so you got it. Structure, you could get to here, and then you could really get down and move in motions which are like to here, hold, to there, a bit more tension, to there, more tension, and then impact. In perception would be to here, and then just wait, and wait for it to relax. There it is, and then there, wait for it to relax, and then go. So that's the different types. Well done, you did good. Cool. Awesome. So what, just quickly, key points, what do we need to do? Go on. Knees bent in flexion, head forward in flexion. Yeah. Extension. Legs flat, head back. Yeah. So the ribs, we're going to go from spinal, slightly lateral. We're going to rotate onto it. Yeah, and then down. And wherever we are in that position, we want to be trying to do it fluid into a motion like that. But it may be that you could come to that point and then drop through. Cool. Epic. Thank you. Bye-bye.